Good morning. Today we will see de Broglie phase velocity, particle velocity and relation between them. We know that the de Broglie wave or matter wave possesses the dual nature, that is particle nature and wave nature. And wave is nothing but the energy. Therefore, when the wave nature is there, it has a phase velocity. First of all, we can define the phase velocity. All of you already know that in the 12th standard, the velocity of advancement of monochromatic wave through a medium is known as the wave velocity or phase velocity, or the velocity of advancement of monochromatic wave through a medium is known as the wave velocity or phase velocity. We know that wave is the disturbance in the particles. Whenever there is a disturbance, then the one particle, after that another particle is in motion, so that we can define the wave velocity in the another manner. Every particle begins its vibration a little later than its predecessor. Thus, there is a progressive change of phase from one particle to the another particle. The phase relationship of that particles is known as wave, and the velocity with which plane of constant phase propagate through the medium is known as phase velocity or wave velocity. Consider the equation of plane progressive wave. Y is equal to a sine of omega t minus kx, equation 1. In this equation, a is the amplitude, omega is the angular frequency and k is the propagation constant. And this term omega t minus kx represents the phase of motion. Differentiating equation 1, we can write down d dt of omega t minus kx is equal to 0. After differentiation, we can write down differentiation of this first term is omega minus differentiation of kx, that is k is constant, and dx by dt is equal to 0. Rearranging this equation, we can write down here omega is equal to k dx by dt. Okay? Or dx by dt is equal to dx by dt is equal to omega upon k. Okay? Again I will revise the term. Differentiation of omega t is omega, differentiation of kx, that is k dx by dt is equal to 0. Rearranging the equation, omega is equal to k dx by dt. Again rearranging, dx by dt is equal to omega by k. Or we can write down this equation in another manner, that is dx by dt is equal to Vp, that is called as the phase velocity, is equal to omega upon k. This is equation 2. Or Vp phase velocity is also denoted by letter u, that is equal to omega upon k. Equation 2, this is also equation 2. Equation 2 shows the phase velocity But we know that omega is equal to 2 pi nu. Here omega is the angular frequency, nu is the frequency, and k is equal to 2 pi upon lambda. Put this value of omega and k in this equation 2, then we can write down Vp is equal to U is equal to 2 pi nu divided by 2 pi upon lambda, that is equal to 2 pi nu into lambda divided by that is equal to 2 pi nu into lambda divided by 2 pi. This 2 pi and this 2 pi get cancelled, and then we can write down Vp is equal to nu lambda, isn't it? This is equation 3. Means phase velocity is equal to nu into lambda. Nu is the frequency and lambda is the wavelength. But according to the quantum theory, energy of the wave is E is equal to h nu. Here, therefore, nu is equal to E by h. This is equation 4. Also, a wavelength of the material particle can be written as lambda is equal to h upon p, and we know that p is equal to mv. Therefore, lambda is equal to h upon mv. This is equation 5. Using equation 4, 5, equation 3 becomes Vp is equal to U is equal to E upon h multiplied by h upon mv, that is equal to, because here h and h get cancel, that is equal to E upon mv, and that is equal to E upon p. Again I will revise the step. We can write in the last step using the equation 4 and 5, equation 3 becomes. What is our equation 3? Equation 3 is Vp is equal to nu lambda. And what is the value of nu? Nu is equal to E by h. And what is the value of lambda? Lambda is equal to h by mv. By putting these values, we can write down Vp is equal to U is equal to E by h, that is the value of nu, into h by mv, that is the value of lambda. Then h and h get cancelled, and we can write down E by mv, that is equal to E by p, equation 6. Therefore, Vp is equal to E upon p. Vp is equal to E upon p means the phase velocity Vp is equal to E upon p, and this relation is associated with the moving particle. Now, using the Einstein's relation, energy E is equal to mc square. Therefore, above equation becomes Vp is equal to mc square divided by, what is the value of p? mv. Then mv, this m and this m get cancelled, and we can write down E is equal to, Vp is equal to c square upon v, equation 7. Vp is equal to c square upon v. This is equation 7. Okay. Means here we have to prove the phase velocity relation, that is Vp is equal to E by P or Vp is equal to C square by V. Now we will see the particle velocity. Particle velocity. Particle velocity, the velocity with which the particle travels, is known as the particle velocity. According to the equation 7, we can write down Vp is equal to C square by V. The phase velocity of associated wave is greater than the velocity of light. As material particle can never have even the velocity of light, the phase velocity exceeds, and then we can write down Vp is equal to E by P. For the moving particle, mass m with velocity v, then E is equal to 1/2 mv square. E is equal to 1/2 mv square and P is equal to mv. Then above equation is Vp is equal to 1/2 mv square, because Vp is equal to E by P, and we know that the E is equal to 1/2 mv square, and P, that is the mv, this m and this m get cancelled, this v square and this v square get cancelled, and that is equal to 1/2 v, means Vp is equal to 1/2 v. This is equation 8. And from that equation 8, phase velocity or wave velocity, this is the Vp. Vp is the phase velocity or wave velocity, and this is equal to half of the particle velocity. Half of the particle velocity, and this is the relation between them, hence the proof.